So just yesterday, I spent a couple of hours giving my website a complete design overhaul. It used to look like this. I thought this was neat and it was very easy to create. I've done an A to Z tutorial on how I created this page using the WordPress theme. The link is in the top right of this video and I've left the link in the description as well. But recently I've bought the Kadence membership, so I have access to the Kadence Pro theme as well as the Kadence Blocks Pro. So I thought I should switch things up because I have a lot more design options. So I've created this. And what's unique about this page is that these two sections are actually calls to action, and when you click on either one of it, this will appear with several options that will link to your other pages of your website. And this as well. And when you hover, it switches color and the icon is flipped to a different icon. So I think this section is rather unique. It provides a better user interface and experience, and with all this fancy stuff, the next question will be, how does it perform on Google PageSpeed Insights and Pingdom, right? So let's check it out. So we're on a Google PageSpeed Insights and let's put my site to test. So let's see, this is the result. It's not too bad. And let's go to Pingdom and let's put this to test. So it's not that bad. There's very few requests. The page size isn't that big. And the loading time is below 1 second. So it's not too shabby and I'm happy with the result. So I'm gonna show you step by step from scratch how to create this section with the sticky header menu and the logo. And I will walk you through to this part, but I will not go any further from here because I want this video to be short and relevant to the title of this video. But if you would like me to do a second part showing you how I created this entire page, do leave a comment down below, and if there is a lot of interest, I will do the second part. So let's go. Hey, this is Jack, and if this is your first time watching a video from my channel, I share lots of WordPress tips and tutorials as well as online business content. So if you want to learn any of these topics, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. My only goal is to share with you ways to save lots of money for your online business using WordPress. I don't use any page builders and site speed is my main focus. So if you're running an online business and you're paying hundreds of dollars to make your website work, subscribe and you'll become a money saving expert for your online business. So before we get into the tutorial, I hope you can do me a little favor and smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate that. And thank you. Now I'll be working on a brand new website because I think this will benefit WordPress beginners the most, and if you are someone who is more advanced, feel free to check out the timestamps or the chapters in the description to skip ahead. So the prerequisites. What you need is the Kadence Blocks Pro at the minimum for this modal effect, and you could use the free Kadence theme to achieve this, but I highly recommend that you get the full membership that comes with a ton of helpful features that we will be discovering in future tutorials. So if you'd like to help this small creator out, you can use this link for your purchase, which will not cost you anything more if you buy it directly from Kadence, and this money will go towards buying toys for my 2-year-old son, so I thank you on behalf of him. So first thing first, if you don't like the color combination of my website, feel free to go to this website, colors.co, to generate the color palette that suits you. For me, I started with this base color that I like and I logged onto this color, and then I started to hit the space bar to generate color palettes that eventually led me to this. And this guided me to create the rest of the page. So now let's go to the WordPress dashboard. So we're going to replicate my website with a completely new WordPress site, which is this domain. And on the left, I will show you what is happening on the backend WordPress editor, and on the right, I will be showing you the changes on the live page. So first thing first, we need to install the Kadence theme as well as the Kadence Blocks Pro plugin. So we'll go to the appearance and let's click on themes, and then let's add new. Let's search for Kadence, and this is the theme we want to install. Let's install this. And then let's activate this. And for housekeeping purposes, I will remove all the other themes. That's my common practice. So I'll click on theme details, and then there is this delete button here. And I will do it for the rest. Now there is only one theme installed, which is the Kadence theme. Now let me refresh and let's see how our site looks like right now. So this is how it looks like. Now let us install the plugins. Let's go to plugins, add new. So to install the plugin, you need to go to your Kadence account and under product downloads, you'll see the Kadence Blocks Pro here once you have purchased it. So as you click on download, let's go back to your WordPress editor. Let's upload the plugin. Click on browse and let's select the plugin and install. And once this is done, let's activate the plugin. And before using it, you need to activate the plugin. So you need to click here to activate. And to find your API license key, you need to go back to your Kadence account and it is under the product API keys. So once you've copied the API key, you need to paste it here together with your email address and activate. So now this is done, let's create a page. Let us go to pages and add new. We want to give the page a title, let's say home. Next, you want to look over to the right under this permalink. By default, the link to this page will be this, which is your domain name plus a home, which is the title you have given this page. And if this doesn't reflect home, you can adjust it here. So now let's publish this page, and don't worry that this page is blank. We will add elements to it later, and I'll explain to you why we need to publish this first. And the reason is because we want to make this page into your home page, which is this. When people type in your domain name, we want it to be redirected to this, and that's what we're going to do now. So now let's click on this WordPress icon to go back to your dashboard, and let's go to settings, under reading, under your homepage displays, we want to select a static page. And then under home page, you want to select home, which is the page you have just published. And the reason why we need to publish this blank page, it's for it to be shown here. If that page is not published, this home will not appear. So let's select home and then let's scroll down, save changes, and we're done. So now if we refresh this page, it should be redirected to your home page. So as you can see here, this is the title you have just given your page. So now let's edit the header. So let's head over to appearance and let's go to customize. Let us open this in a new tab. Next, we want to go to header and let me give you an orientation. So basically this header over here consists of 3 rows. One is the top row, the main row, and the bottom row. So if you see here, there is this logo here. This logo actually reflects this My WordPress here. And then the primary navigation, this reflects this hamburger icon here. Let's just take a quick look at what we want to achieve. So we want a logo here and we want a primary navigation here as well as some social icons here. So let's go back to the editor. Let's go to this logo. Let's click and drag it to the middle of the top row. And let me expand this out so you can see the desktop version of it. So this is how it looks like on the desktop version. Let's click on the gear icon for the logo. Let's upload a logo. Let's select logo here, upload files, and then let's select this. And let's give this an alt text to describe the image. And let's select this. We'll skip cropping. And you can't really see it here because the background of the header is white. And the logo is white as well, so it's blended. So let's change the color of the header. Let's head back to the header customizer. Let's select design, and under the header background, we want to click on this. And the color code for my blue is this. And we are basically done. Let's go back to editing this logo. Let's click on the gear. Under general, we don't want this to be too big, so let's say to reduce this to 70. And then we don't want the logo and the title, we just want a logo. So let's select just the logo, and we are done here. Next, we want the primary navigation right after the logo. So the primary navigation is right here. So we want to click and drag this element all the way to the middle. And we'll see the position of the header move to the center. So now we want to edit this primary navigation. So let's click on this gear icon at the primary navigation. And over on the left, we want to select menu and we want to create a new menu. Let's give this menu a name. Let's say this is main. Let's check this mobile as well, and next. Now let's add items. So we have the home page. If you see, when I click on the plus, this item is added to the menu list. Next, because this is a completely blank website and we haven't created any other pages, so we basically have no other links. So what we want to do now is to go to custom links, expand this. Let's put in the next menu item, which is blog. And because we don't have a URL yet, we'll click on this and add a hashtag. So if somebody clicks on this link, they will not be redirected to anywhere else. So let's add to menu and you'll see this item added to the list. So let's do the rest. The next item is make money and put in a hashtag, add to menu. Next is affiliate marketing. Let's put a hashtag add to menu. And because affiliate marketing should be a sub menu of make money. So to do that, let's just click on affiliate marketing and drag it out and let go. And you'll see affiliate marketing nested under make money, as you can see here. Next, let's continue adding all the items. And we're done. So in future, if you have a blog link, or for example, you have an affiliate marketing category page, you can always add the links to this menu item by just clicking on this and replacing this hashtag with the link. But anyway, we are done with this. Let's head back. Let's go to header. Under the primary navigation, we want to change the color of this menu. So let's click on design. And then under this navigation colors, the initial color, we want to set it as white. So as you can see, the color of the menu has changed. Next, this is the hover color. Let's click on this. The color that I use for this is this orange. You'll see it change to orange. Next, this is the active color. So for example, the home page is selected now, and this is basically called the active menu item. Let's click on this. Let's put in the orange code. And we are basically done. Next, let's add some social media icons here. So let's hit back again. Under the header, under general, if you look over here, the available items, we have this social here. So let's click and drag this element right beside the primary navigation, but all the way to the corner. And let's edit this. So if you have any social links, you can set the links here, but I'm not gonna do that now. Let's go back to the header. So if you want to add any social media icons, just click on this. And here are all the social platforms you can add. So let's say I want to add YouTube. And you'll see the YouTube here. But what if I want to bring this YouTube all the way to the front? So let's click and drag YouTube and put it to the top. Now let's change the design. Let's click on design. Let's select outline. And before I click this, just take note of the changes here. And let's go to the colors. We want to make this white. And then for the hover color, we want to make this the same orange. And as you hover, this is what we want. So let's publish this first. We will not touch on the sticky header yet because there is no content here and it's very hard for us to see any changes. So we will now customize the most important part of this tutorial, which is the home page. So let's go back to our WordPress editor. Let's go to the pages, all pages, and let's edit this home page. Now let's refresh and see how our homepage looks like. Don't worry about this, we'll edit this later. And the first thing we need to do is to remove this home title here. So what we need to do is to go over here under page settings, and under page title, we want to disable it and update. Let's refresh this and you'll see the page title gone. So now let's work on this. Let's go over here, click on this add block. Let's click on browse all and let's scroll down. It seems that the Kadence Blocks is not installed, so we have missed one step. So let's open up the WordPress dashboard and let's go to plugins. And the reason is because this Kadence Blocks Pro extension requires the free version of the Kadence Blocks. So let's add new and let's search for Kadence. And you'll see this here, the Kadence Blocks by Kadence WP. Let's install and activate. So this is done. Let's go back to our page. And whenever there's any changes to the back end, we need to refresh the page first. But before that, let's update and refresh. So if we click on add block and browse all the Kadence blocks will appear. So first thing, let's click on row layout. And we need these two columns. Let's select this. And then over here under this plus, let's click on this. Let's browse all. What we want is this info box. Let's click on this. And before we do anything, I want to show you the layers, which happens right over here. So basically, how page builders work is that they will always stack layers after layers after layers. So for example, I've selected the info box is stacking on top of the section layer, and then this section layer is stacking on top of the row layout layer. So each and every layer here, there are some settings that you can change. And to show you a good example of how we're going to edit this, let's also add an info box on the right. And let's update this and refresh. And you'll see this two info box here. So now if you see over here, there are a lot of gaps here. and a lot of gaps outside of the white space here, which is the content area. So we need to fix that. So this white space over here is basically considered the padding under the row layout. So if we click on the row layout and if we go to the settings and let's go to the padding and margin, you will see that there is a top padding of 25, which is over here, as well as a bottom padding of a 25 over here. So we want to remove that by changing all to 0. And then next, we want to edit the layer on top of the row layout. So let's click on this info box. So this is the section we want to edit. Let's click on this. We want to put it all 0. And let's update this and refresh. You'll see some changes over here. So let's make this white space all the way to the corner so it's taking a full width. So let's go to the row layouts. Over here, change alignment. Let's select full width and update. And when I hit refresh, this gray space over here will be taken over by the white space. So let's refresh, and that's basically it. Now let's remove this white space in the middle, and this is what we call the column gutter, which is over here under the row layout. Let's put this as no gutter. Update, refresh, and here we are. Now there's one more thing we need to change, and it is over here. If you can see this, there are some white space over here and there are some gray space over here. We want to make this entire section a content area. The content area is basically this white space over here. We want the white space to take over the entire page so that we can properly style the page. So what we need to do is to go to this page settings, and under page layout, let's select full width and update. And as we refresh, you see that this entire area here turns to a white area. So now we are ready to style the info boxes. Let's click on the info box and let's click on the settings. So we'll go through all these elements one by one. Let's go to container settings. Under the container background, we want to change the color to the dark blue we have. And when we hover, we want the hover background to have this color code. So can you see the difference now? Now for the container padding, let's click on this to separate all the padding options. So if you see here, this will control the top padding, which is the white space between this icon and the top side over here. So for example, if I put this as 250, you can see that the space has widened up a lot. And then we want to do the same for the bottom. So this is the bottom padding. Let's put this as 250 as well. And we're done. Let's scroll down under media settings. Let's change this icon to the WordPress icon. Let's search for WordPress. Let's click on this. You can adjust the icon size if you want, but for me, I will put this as 50. The icon color, we want to change it to white. And let's scroll down further. Over at the icon hover animation, let's select this, flip to another icon, and then let's search for the other WordPress icon. Let's click on this. And for the hover, we want to change it to black. So if we hover over, the icon will be black. And let's scroll down further. Under title settings, let's change the title color to white. And as we hover, we want the title color to be black. And let's change the title. And we're done. Let's scroll down further. Under text settings, we want to change the color to white. And as we hover, we want it to be black. So let's change the text. And we're basically done for this info box. Let's update this and refresh. It's looking kind of neat already. So instead of styling this from scratch, we can actually copy all the settings here. So what we need to do is to click on this info box over here, copy and paste styles. Let's click on that and copy styles. And then let's click on this info box. Let's paste the styles. Now, a couple of things to change. Firstly, it is the color of the background. So let's go to container settings. Under this container background, let's put this color. Let's scroll down further. Under media settings, let's change the icon. Let's search for graduation. And we'll select this. And flip to another icon. We want to search for dollar. And let's click on this. Don't worry about this overlap, it will work just fine on the live page, like this. So let's change the title, as well as the text. Let's update this, and refresh. We are basically done. Next, if we click on this, we want this modal to appear, as well as this. So let's scroll down. Let's add another block. Let's browse all and search for modal over here. Now let's open up the settings. Under the link settings, we want to toggle this off because by default a modal comes with a button. So normally if somebody clicks on the button, this modal will appear, and that's not what we want, so we will not show link. Let's give this modal a name, for example main-left, and then let's go over to the modal overlay settings. We want to change the overlay background to the theme blue. Let's go to the modal animation settings. I want to put this as slide in from left. Next, this modal box alignment, I want to change it to left. And then for the modal box size, we will keep it as it is. For the close button, we want to change the color to white. And then for the box styling, we want to change the background color and make it transparent. You can either drag this or you can change this to 0. Next, let's click on the content area of the modal. Let's hit enter and you'll see this ad block here. Let's click on ad block and let's select info box. So if you have a link for this info box, you can place it here. Let's go to the container settings. The container background, we will put this as transparent. Under the media settings, we want to change the icon to a rocket. The icon color, we want to change it to white. And as we hover, we'll leave it as white. Now let's go back to the container settings. Under the container background, as we hover, we want the background color to be this color. So this is what we want. Let's change the title color. Under title settings, let's change the title color to white. And then as we hover, we want this as white as well. So let's change the title. And we don't need the text, so we need to scroll down. Under text settings, let's toggle this off. So this is what we want. Next, at the bottom here, let's add another info box. And let's not style it from scratch. Let's copy styles and then let's paste styles. Under container settings, container background, let's put this as transparent. Let's close off the text. Change the icon and the title. Next, let's add another. Let's do the same thing. And we're basically done with this. So now what we need to do, let's click on this modal. And then under link settings, let's take note of this. Let's copy this. And then let's go over to this info box here. So over at the link, we want to put a hashtag and let's paste the modal name. And finally, let's click on the modal again. Under the link settings, we need to copy this modal trigger. Let's copy this and head back to the info box and scroll all the way down to the advanced. Under the CSS class, let's paste this and let's update this, refresh, and let's see if it works. Here we go. Now we can do the same thing for this. So let's first add a new modal. Let's scroll all the way down here. At a white space here, let's click on this and let's add a new modal. Let's bring this up and let's do the settings again. For this, we want to put it as something like this. It doesn't matter what name you give, as long as you copy this and you put it in your info box, that will work. So the overlay settings, let's change this. Modal animation, let's put this as slide in right. Position settings, let's put this as right. Under the modal box, we'll leave it as it is. And for the close button, let's put this as white. For the box styling, the background color, we want to put it as transparent. And let's add info boxes. Let's hit enter and add block, info box. Let's copy this style and paste this here. So let's click on this info box under container settings. Container background, we want to put this as transparent. And as we hover, we want to change the color to this color. Under the media settings, we can change the icon. The icon color, we want it white, and the hover, we want it black. And then for the title as well, for normal it is white, and if we hover it is black. We don't need the text, and we're basically done. Let's edit this. Let's add another info box. Copy this style, paste it here. Under container settings, change this to transparent. Title settings, we'll toggle it off. Oh, sorry. It should be the text settings. So under the media settings, let's select the briefcase and the title. Let's change it. And we're basically done. So let's select this modal layer. Under the link settings, let's copy this. Over here, let's click on this info box. Under the link, let's put a hashtag and paste in the name of the modal. And then one more step, let's click on this modal. Under the link settings, let's copy this modal trigger. And then over here, go down all the way to advanced. Under additional CSS, let's paste this modal trigger here. Update, refresh, and I think we are done over here. Now let's do the last part, which is over here. Let's click over at the white area. We don't want to add blocks in either of these areas, so we want to add a new block in the white area. So let's click on this. Let's select row layout. Let's give this 2 sections like this. And then the row layout, we want to change the alignment to full width. And then under the background settings, the background color, we want to change it to the dark blue. And let's add an image. Upload. Let's select this. Of course, for this part, you may want to use your own image. Let's just add a title. Let's select this advanced heading and type in about Jack. The heading color, we want to change it to white. And let's copy this text in here. Change this color setting to white as well. And then let's add a button. Select this advanced button. Under this button settings, we want to change the text color to black. And then the background color, we want to change it to the yellow. And as for the hover, the background color, we want to change it to this. We don't want any border color. And let's change the button text. Let's scroll up and add another button. And this time around, we want to change it to subscribe. And let's add an icon. Select this. Icon location, we want to change it to left. And we are basically done with this section. Let's update. And let me show you what's happening on the live page. So this is what's happening. The image is too big. There is some white space over here. And we need to add a lot of white space here. And this text, we want to change it to white. So over on our WordPress editor, let's change this to white first. And to reduce the size of this image, let's click on this image. Over here, the image dimensions, we want to change this to maybe 50% or maybe a 25. Let's update this. And let's try to refresh this. And this is resized. So we want to align this center. And then to push this down to the middle, we need to select this row layout section. And we want to select vertical align middle. And let's update this, refresh, and here we are. So there's this little plus here, which shouldn't be there. Okay, so what we want to do is to add a lot of padding over here, as well as at the bottom. So what we need to do is to go to row layouts, under padding and margin. For the top padding, we want to put maybe 150, and then for the bottom margin, we want to put maybe another 150. So let's update, refresh, and we are done. Now here's the thing, we want to use this section over here to cover up all the white spaces that might occur as we resize it to maybe the mobile or the tablet version. So what we need to do is to adjust this margin, because using this margin, it will bring this entire section up, or you can bring this entire section down. So for example, if I want to bring this section up, I will put a -50, and you see this entire section is pushed up a little. Let's update this, refresh, you see this pushed up and the white space is gone. So for example, if we resize this to the mobile, now we need to optimize this for mobile. So this is what's happening here. These two info boxes are stacking on top of each other, and that's not what we want. So let's optimize this for mobile. So let's scroll up. Let's click on either one of these info boxes, and then let's select this row layout layer. So if we go to the settings, we see over here we have other devices. Let's select this mobile device. And then over here, we want to select this. And as we update and refresh, this will look like this. Now something is wrong with this section over here. Let's try to troubleshoot. So basically there is this extra spacing here. So to remedy this, let me just make an artificial space at the make money instead of having the text wrapped by the browser. So I'll just hit enter, and let's update this, refresh, and we can see that now it is even. And if we go to the desktop version, this will happen. So we will do the same thing as well. Let's do an artificial space. Let's update this, refresh, and we are done. So now here's the final thing. We want to shift this two section up to the top, and then we want to have a sticky header, just like this. You see this? This is basically a transparent background. And as we scroll down, there is this sticky header here. So now let's do that. This is the final section of this tutorial. So we need to go to the customizer we have just opened from the start. Let's open this up and let's refresh this first. Now let's select header, and over here you can see this transparent header. We want to enable this, and then let's go back under the sticky header. We want to enable the sticky header to show only the contents of the main row, so that as you scroll, this is what we want. Let's publish this. And on our live page, let's refresh. So there is this white space over here. What we need to do is to go back to the page. Let's click on either one of these info boxes. And let's select the row layout. Let's go to the padding and margin. Over at the margin, we want to put this as -80. Let's update. And let's go to the live page and refresh. And here we are. So now there's one more thing. We want this logo to be in the middle for the mobile. So let's go back to the customizer. Let's hit back here under the tablet and mobile. All we need to do is to shift this logo to the middle. And let's publish this, and we are done. So that's how I created this unique homepage of the Kadence Blocks Pro and the Kadence team. I really hope this tutorial benefited you, and if it did, and don't forget to leave a comment with your suggestions if you'd like me to do more tutorials, and of course, subscribe to the channel with the bell notifications. Thank you for sticking around. You are awesome. Stay cool and stay safe.